I'm often asked, and occasionally in an accusatory way, are you atheist? You know, the only ist I am is a scientist, all right? I don't associate with movements. I'm not an ism. I think for myself. The moment once someone attaches you to a philosophy or a movement, then they assign all the baggage and all the rest of the philosophy that goes with it to you. And when you want to have a conversation, they will assert that they already know everything important there is to know about you because of that association. And that's not the way to have a conversation. I'm sorry, it's not. I'd rather we explore each other's ideas in real time rather than assign a label to it and assert you know what's going to happen in advance. So what people are really after is, what is my stance on religion or spirituality or God? And I would say if I would find a word that came closest, it would be agnostic. Agnostic, a word dates from the 19th century, Huxley, to refer to someone who doesn't know but hasn't yet really seen evidence for it, but is prepared to embrace the evidence if it's there, but if it's not, it won't be forced to have to think something that is not otherwise supported. Okay? There are many atheists who say, well, all agnostics are atheists. Like, okay. I'm constantly claimed by atheists. I find this intriguing. In fact, on my wiki page, I didn't create the wiki page, others did, and I'm flattered that people cared enough about my life to assemble it. And it said, Neil deGrasse Tyson is an atheist. I said, well, that's not really true. I said, Neil deGrasse Tyson is an agnostic. Went back a week later, it said Neil Tyson is an atheist again, within a week. And I said, what's up with that? And I said, all right, now I have to word it a little differently. So I said, okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson, widely claimed by atheists, is actually an agnostic. And some will say, well, you're not being fair to the fact that they're actually the same thing. No, they're not the same thing, and I'll tell you why. Atheists I know who proudly wear the badge are active atheists. They're like in-your-face atheists, and they want to change policies, and they're having debates. I don't have the time, the interest, the energy to do any of that. I'm a scientist. I'm an educator. My goal is to get people thinking straight in the first place. Just get you to be curious about the natural world. That's what I'm about. I'm not about any of the rest of this. And it's odd that the word atheist even exists. I don't play golf. Is there a word for non-golf players? Do non-golf players gather and strategize? Do non-skiers have a word and come together and talk about the fact that they don't ski? I can't do that. I can't gather around and talk about how much everybody in the room doesn't believe in God. I don't have the energy for that. And so agnostic separates me from the conduct of atheists, whether or not there's strong overlap between the two categories. And at the end of the day, I'd rather not be any category at all.
Man, this issue is so annoying and it's so easy to see through, and I think it should be addressed. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are an atheist. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I will ask you, let me ask you a question. Well, let's settle this. Settle this once and for all. Do you believe in God? Now, don't give me a speech. Don't give me a speech about evidence. Don't give me a speech about knowing, which is not the question. I'm not asking you how much you can know and what certainty you can know. I'm asking, do you believe in God? And if the next word out of your mouth isn't yes, you're an atheist. And this palpable fear, this pussified stance he takes where he doesn't want to be categorized. My brother, you're being categorized all the time, and you're happy to take these categories. You avoid the baggage of atheism because you're fearful. You're afraid to stand up and speak your mind. And that's cowardly. Nobody's asking you to write books about your atheism or go burn down a church or go debate a bunch of creationists or be some raging anti-theist. But you can at least be honest and say, yeah, I don't believe in a God, I'm an atheist. The answer of agnostic is not an answer. It's just bullshit. It's like on Match.com where they say, no, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. What? Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm spiritual? What does that even mean? This is an answer to not rock the boat, to placate as many people as possible. This guy has no problem identifying as a black man, as a Democrat, as a humanist, as an American. Oh, those categories, no, he's cool with that. An atheist? Nah. Let me distance myself from that. Don't drag me into that. I'm just about science. I'm just innocently, let me just teach science. Let me host a show called Cosmos, which is dripping with atheism, which refutes every tenet, every principled foundational belief of religious people. But no, I'm not an atheist. So yeah, there is no evidence for God. There is no evidence man and dinosaur existed. There is no evidence for a young earth. All this stuff. There's no evidence for miracles, but you're sitting on the fence. You're not willing to come out and state that you're an atheist. Just embarrassing. And I put this guy in the lineup at the end, because the first few videos I made, he wasn't in there, and everybody was like, where's Neil deGrasse Tyson? Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson? Where's our friendly, lovable, scientific uncle? So I put him in. And then they said, well, he's not an atheist, he's agnostic. And that really bugs me. It really bugs me because the man is an atheist. Being an atheist and agnostic is not mutually exclusive. You people know this. They answer different questions. We don't have to go over this again. So for him to claim that he's not an atheist because he doesn't go out and bash religious people, and he's not part of a movement, and how can you be labeled a non-something? I don't want to sit around a room and talk about how there's no God. How about the fact that most people in the world are religious and believe in insane ideas that blockade your beloved science at every turn? That's the writing on the wall. That's the elephant in the room, the religiously idiotic elephant sitting in the room that you're unwilling to address. Please, we don't want there to be a term either. We don't go around classifying ourselves as atheists or a whatever. Do we have to distinguish? Do I have to come up with a subset of atheism that says, not only do I not believe in Yahweh, I don't believe in Allah, and I don't believe in L. Ron Hubbard. No, we don't feel the need. Of course not. But in this day and age, in this moment of history that you find yourself, you bet your ass you better classify yourself as an atheist. Unless you want to be labeled and expose yourself to being a coward. Intellectually cowardly. This is a guy that walks the walk. He'll host Cosmos. He'll teach science. He'll explain that the more education you have, the more likely it is you'll be an atheist. He knows full well that scientists all around the country are atheists. He knows why. He understands reason, rationality, evidence, facts. And yet he'll come right up to the edge and then he'll stop and say, no, I don't want to be part of a group. I'm not part of a group. We understand this is not a group. This is a factual assessment of your beliefs. This is a herd of cats. I'm not asking you to go on road trips with David Silverman. You just have to be honest, remotely honest, that you're not an agnostic. You might be we're all agnostic, first of all. That's like saying nothing. That's like saying, I'm an air breather. I'm an oxygen breather. It's like, okay, so who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Seattle or the Patriots? My answer to that, I breathe oxygen. What? Huh? We all breathe oxygen. I asked you a question. What's your answer? Look, either you are a Patriots fan or you're not. You either do want the Patriots to win or you don't. And look, you could say, I'm indifferent. I don't care if the Patriots win or not. I don't even follow football. I don't even know the rules of football. Even with that answer, you're still not a fan of the Patriots. Therefore, you would be a non-Patriot fan. Therefore, you would be an atheist. So even if this crazy logic of you trying to say, don't bother me with isms and groups, please, people. I'm just trying to teach. I'm an educator. I just walk around like Lando Calrissian, baby. Yeah, I'm a science educator. You know how I do this. Oh, what am I? Do I believe in God? Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I'm still waiting on the evidence to come in. It hasn't come in 4 billion years. We're still waiting, though. I'm going to hold out on that. The jury's going to remain out until I die. Freaking wow. It is so crazy, man. That's really just not acceptable. Pathetic, actually. It is pathetic. You have to take a stand. You have to state your opinion. Are you in favor of racism? Are you pro-racism or are you against racism? Are you in favor of slavery? Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, let me ask you that. Are you in favor of the institution of slavery? Should we reinstate slavery in the South? Should we put that up for a vote? Or are you an abolitionist? Are you anti-slavery? Now that's an ist. Now I want to categorize you, good sir, as an abolitionist, as an anti-slavery. Can I put you in that camp? Or are you agnostic on this issue? Mr. Tracy, let me tell you how I feel about that. I don't want to be classified. I don't want to be categorized as abolitionist or anti-slavery. I mean, that's because then you'll start making assumptions about me, and I don't want to be associated with other people. But I will tell you, I'm against slavery in every way, shape, and form. I think it's immoral. I think it's evil. I hate the institution. I think it's a stain on our history. I hate every part about it. So I'm totally dead set against slavery. So then I can say you're anti-slavery? No. I mean, well, let's just say that I have not yet heard any good reasons to bring slavery back. I do not want to be associated with the abolitionist movement. I'm not part of that movement. Look, I'm not into slavery, okay? I'm not in favor of slavery. Now, I don't think I need a word to describe how I'm not into slavery. I don't want to get around in groups of people and say, hey, we're not into slavery. Hey, what do you guys want to do tonight? I don't know. Do you want to talk about how we're all not into slavery? Sure, that sounds good. Yeah. Neil, it's not working, okay? We understand what you're trying to do here. You're an atheist. Come out of the closet. You're not fooling anybody. You're an atheist. Come on in. The water's fine. It's unbecoming. It's ridiculous. It's linguistically absurd. It's intellectually stunted. Doesn't make sense. Does not connect. There's no rhyme or reason for him to say he's agnostic when asked the question about God. There's none. There's no connection. It's a sidestep. It's an avoidance. It's a game. It's politics. It's wordplay. You're an atheist. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you you're an atheist. Unless you want to tell me you believe in God. If you do that, boom, you're not an atheist. But you don't believe in God. You've said it many times. Therefore, you're an atheist. Good night. End of story. Cue the music.